go for some rules regarding when to use subjective pronouns. When to use subjective pronouns. We'll discuss some rules regarding when to use subjective and when to use objective pronouns. I told you about possessive pronouns. When to use s, when not to use s. When to use apostrophe, when not to use apostrophe. That is enough in the possessive case. We'll go for some rules regarding when to use subjective form and when to use the objective form. Come to the first one. Use the subjective form. That means the situations where we need to use the subjective pronouns. The first one, when the sentence is in the active voice. When the sentence is in the active voice and the pronoun acts as the doer. Doer means the subject. So if you find any sentence in the active voice, and if you feel that the pronoun is acting as a doer subject, the doer in that sentence, that particular pronoun must be the subject. Right? If a sentence is in the active voice, and if the pronoun is acting as the doer in the sentence, that pronoun must be in the subject. Now come to the statement. An example. Dash buys a book. This sentence is in the active voice. The simple reason is buys is V1. V1 will never come in the passive voice. Then dash buys a book. So buys is V1, active voice. The order must be subject, verb, object. Dash buys a book means a book is receiving the action. Object comes to the end in active voice. This sentence is in the order subject, verb, object. This blank must be filled with a pronoun. The sentence is in the active voice. The pronoun is acting as a subject here, and subject means a doer. I told you, if a sentence is in the active voice and if the pronoun is acting as a doer in that sentence, that particular pronoun must be in the subjective. This sentence is in the active voice, and in this sentence, the pronoun is acting as a doer. It must be in the subjective form. He is subjective, whereas him is objective. The answer must be he buys a book. So this is the very first case. We need to use a situation where we need to use a subjective pronouns. If I say, I went to a movie. Okay, you went to a movie. I also went to the same movie. You are telling me that you went to the movie. So I want to tell you back that I also went to the same movie. Right? I want to tell you back that I also went to the same movie. So to convey this idea, I also went to the same movie. To convey this idea, should I say I too or me too? Now, too is not a negative to here. If it has to be a negative too, there must be an adjective along with it, like too smart, too cruel, too bad. The meaning of too here is also. I too means I also. So I want to tell you back that I also went to the same movie. So to convey this idea, should I say I too or me too? That's my question. Dash too. I too or me too. Usually we say me too. Right. Now, understand the meaning. Dash to is a short form of dash to went to the same movie. Dash to is the short form of dash to went to the same movie. This sentence is in the active voice or passive voice. I say active voice, and the simple reason I give for it is the verb here is went. Went is V2. Go, went, gone. V2 will never come in the passive voice. So this sentence is the active voice. So order of this sentence must be subject, verb, object. The same movie, the movie is receiving the action, it becomes the object. The sentence is in the active voice. This blank must be filled with a pronoun. It must be either I or me. The sentence is in the active voice, and in this statement, the pronoun is acting as a subject. Subject means a doer. The first rule, when a sentence is in the active voice, and when the pronoun acts as a doer, that pronoun must be in the subjective form. So this blank must be filled with a subjective pronoun. Me is subjective, eliminated. The answer must be I too. Usually we say me too. Me too. That's wrong usage. It must be I too. Now, even though it sounds incorrect, it is correct. You know that me too movement, the women's movement, that is different. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you about it. So it must be I too went to the same movie and not me too went to the same. This is the very first situation where we need to use the subjective pronouns. When the sentence is in the active voice and when the pronoun acts as a do. Getting it? Come to the second. Use a subjective form when there is a linking verb in a sentence and the pronoun acts as the doer. I told you how to find out whether an auxiliary verb is linking or helping. We discussed this rule in subject-verb agreement. Main verb means action. When there is no main verb in a sentence, the auxiliary verb is termed as linking. If I say, he is a good boy, there's no main verb here, there's no action here. The auxiliary verb here is. There's no main verb in this sentence, so is becomes a linking verb. When there is a main verb in a sentence, then the auxiliary verb is termed as helping. When there is a main verb in a sentence, the auxiliary verb is called helping. He is dancing. Dancing is a main verb, action, so is becomes a helping. This is how to find out whether an auxiliary verb is linking or helping. When there is no main verb in a sentence, the auxiliary verb in that sentence is termed as linking. He is a good boy. When there is a main verb in a sentence, the auxiliary verb in that sentence is termed as helping. He is dancing. Dancing is a main verb, is becomes helping. Clear? Now come to the second rule once again. Use a subjective form when there is a linking verb in a sentence and the pronoun acts as a doer. So if I have a linking verb in a sentence and the pronoun acting as a doer, that particular pronoun must be in the subjective. Now come to the statement. He is cleverer than dash. He is cleverer than dash. What is the verb here? Cleverer is not a verb. Clever is not an action. Clever is an adjective. It's a comparative degree adjective. We'll discuss adjectives. We'll go for adjectives in detail after pronouns. Clever is not a noun action. It's not a verb. The verb in this sentence is auxiliary verb. In this sentence, is a linking verb or helping verb? Linking verb, because there's no main verb in this sentence. There's no main verb in this sentence. Is becomes a linking verb. So we have a linking verb in this statement. The pronoun must be in the subjective form. She is subjective, so she must be the answer. Her is objective, eliminated. So the answer must be he is cleverer than she. Sounds he is cleverer than her sounds correct but incorrect. He is cleverer than she sounds incorrect but correct. Getting it? So we have a linking verb here. The pronoun must be in the subjective form. She is subjective, so he is cleverer than she. What if I say he is cleverer than she is? This becomes an error with redundancy. Yes is not required here. Is understood. So he is cleverer than she is completely fine. Never give a reason like a sentence sounds correct or sounds incorrect. Always go by the rules. A sentence that sounds correct may be incorrect. A sentence that sounds incorrect may be correct. Only task is to just blindly follow the rules. Come on next. They are more intelligent than dash. Options are we, us. More intelligent is not a verb, not an action. More intelligent is an adjective, comparatively, the adjective. The verb in this sentence is are, auxiliary. And in this sentence, are is a linking verb, there's no main verb. So we have a linking verb in this sentence. The pronoun must be in the subjective form. We is subjective, whereas us is objective. So the answer must be they are more intelligent than we. They are more intelligent than we are becomes error with redundancy. Are is not required here, are is understood here. So they are more intelligent than we is fine. Next one. I am more studious than dash. More studious is not a verb, it's an adjective, comparatively the adjective. The verb in this sentence is am, auxiliary verb. And in this sentence, am is a linking verb. There is no main verb here. The pronoun must be in the subjective form. He is subjective. The answer must be he. Him is eliminated because him is objective. I am more studious than. Actually, this statement is some kind of exaggeration. Sorry, boasting. Now, what is the difference between boasting and exaggerating? Boast and exaggerate. Boasting means self-appreciation. Self-dabba you say in Telugu. If I speak too much about myself, that's called boasting. Exaggerating means speaking too much about something. Speaking too much about something more than speaking too much about something. That means speaking more than what in fact exists is called exaggeration. So I am more studious than he means I am boasting of myself. Now boast and exaggerate both are verbs. The verb boast will be followed by the preposition of. We'll discuss the prepositions in fact. We'll discuss it later. So I boast of myself. He boasts of himself. They boast of themselves, etc. So I am more serious and he is kind of boasting. Come next one, the statement. Who is it? Question mark. This is a question and the answer is it is dash. Options are he, him. Now I guess you go for him, but I say the answer is he. It is he. We have two reasons to say that it is he. I'll give you two reasons. It is dash is a sentence. What is the verb here? The verb in this sentence is auxiliary verb. And in this sentence, is a linking verb because there is no main verb in the statement. The second rule, we have a linking verb here. The pronoun must be in the subjunctive form. He is subjunctive, so it is he. It is he, it is I, it is she. All these are correct. It is him, it is her, it is me. All these are wrong. That's one reason. Linking verb, pronoun must be in the subjunctive. Another reason. This is question and answer. Question is, who is it? The pronoun in the question is who. Who is subjective? Who is subject? So pronoun in the question is who, subjective. I told you earlier, in the question if the pronoun is in the subjective form, in the answer also pronoun must be in the subjective form. He is subjective, so the answer must be he. Him is objective, so eliminate. So we have two reasons to say that it is he. Who is it? It is he. Getting it? Come to these statements. We are as brilliant as dash. Options are they, them. She is as foolish as dash. The options are he, him. Now listen. We use as dash as and so dash as to draw a relationship between two entities. As dash as means as brilliant as dash as foolish as. I'll make it so foolish as. Yeah. So foolish as, so dashes. So, as I said, yeah, as dashes and so dashes are used to draw a relationship between two entities. Come to first sentence once again. We are as brilliant as dash. We have two entities here. We is, the pronoun we is one entity, the blank is the other entity. Similarly, she is so foolish as dash. She is one entity, the blank is the other entity. So we use as dashes and so dashes to draw a relationship between two entities. The only thing is, as dashes is used for a positive comparison, whereas so dashes is used for a negative comparison. That's why I said, as brilliant as, brilliant is positive, so, it's a printing mistake, it's a typo. So foolish as, foolish is negative. Now we'll make this the third rule. The rule is this, listen. When there is a relationship between two entities using as dashes or so dashes, and when the pronoun acts as the doer, that particular pronoun must be the subjective. When there is a relationship between two entities using as dashes or so dashes, and when the pronoun acts as the doer, that pronoun must be in the subjective. Now come to the statements once again. We are as brilliant as dash. As brilliant as is as dash as. So pronoun must be in the subjective form. They is a subjective pronoun, so it must be. We are as brilliant as they. We are as brilliant as they are becomes kind of redundancy. R is not required here, R is understood here. So we are as brilliant as they. Come to second. She is so foolish as dash. So foolish as is so dash as. We have to use the subjective form. He is subjective, whereas him is objective, eliminated. She is so foolish as he. She is so foolish as he is becomes a redundancy. Is understood. She is so foolish as he. Getting it? So these are the three situations where we need to use subjective pronouns. The first situation is sentence in the active voice, pronoun acting as a doer. The second situation is linking verb in a sentence, pronoun acting as a doer. The third situation is Relationship between two entities using as dash as or so dash as, and then pronoun acting as a do. So these are the three situations where we need to go for the subjective pronouns. Come to the next one. Use the objective form. That means the situations where we need to use the objective pronouns. What is the very first rule in subjective form? Sentence in the active voice, pronoun acting as a doer. So what must be the very first rule in the objective form? The very first rule in subjective form is sentence in the active voice, pronoun acting as a doer. So the very first rule in the objective form must be sentence in the passive voice, pronoun acting as a doer. Come to the first rule. When the sentence is in the passive voice, object, verb, subject, and when the pronoun acts as a doer, that pronoun must be in the objective form. Come to the statement beginning. A car is bought by dash. By comes in the passive voice. So this sentence is in the passive voice. A car is bought means a car is receiving the action. Object. Object comes to the beginning in the passive voice. Is bought is a verb here. This blank must be the subject because the order of passive voice is object, verb, subject. So this sentence is in the passive voice. The pronoun must come here in this blank. And according to the sentence, the pronoun is acting as a subject, do. The very first rule says, when the sentence is in the active voice and when the pronoun acts as a doer, that pronoun must be in the objective. This sentence is in the passive voice and the pronoun is acting as a doer here. So this pronoun must be in the objective form. Based on that, they is eliminated, it must be them. They is subjective, whereas them is objective. So car is bought by them. This is one reason. I'll give you one more reason for it. Right? I'll come back to the same statement. I'll give one more reason. You will never get stuck with any rule. If you're not getting the help of one rule, forget about it, think about some other rules. So car is bought by them. This is the very first rule regarding when to use objective pronouns. Come to the second rule. Use the objective form when the pronoun appears before or after an infinitive. You know what a gerund is. I told you about a gerund, I told you about an infinitive. Gerund is verb plus ing acting as a noun. Infinitive is 2 plus v1 plural. There's nothing like 2 plus v1 singular, it is always 2 plus v1 plural. Come to the second rule once again. Use the objective form when the pronoun appears before or after an infinitive. That means we find a pronoun coming before an infinitive or after an infinitive, that particular pronoun must be in the objective form. Come to the first statement. They asked dash to work hard. Options are he, him. They asked dash to work hard. To work is 2 plus v1 plural. Work is v1 plural and 2 plus v1 plural is infinitive. So to work becomes an infinitive. And in this sentence, the blank must be filled with a pronoun. In this sentence, the pronoun is coming before the infinitive. As I said, the pronoun comes before an infinitive or after an infinitive, that pronoun must be in the objective form. In this sentence, the pronoun is coming before the infinitive, so it must be in the objective form. Based on that, he is eliminated, it must be his boss. They asked him to work. Getting it? The next one. To teach dash is a difficult task. The options are they, them. To teach is an infinitive. 2 plus v1 plural. Teach is v1 plural. So to teach is an infinitive. And in this sentence, the pronoun is coming after the infinitive. Pronoun comes before or after infinitive, it must be in the objective form. So this blank undoubtedly must be filled with an objective pronoun. Based on that, they is eliminated, it must be them. To teach them is a difficult task. No doubt, right? Next one. To teach you is a difficult task. Now the pronoun you is both subjective and objective. I told you, based on the rules, you must be able to identify whether you in a sentence is subject or object. Come to the same statement once again. To teach you is a difficult task. My question is, in this sentence, the pronoun you is in the subjective form or objective form? I say, in this sentence, you, the pronoun you is in the objective form. Because the simple reason is, to teach is an infinitive. And in this sentence, the pronoun is coming after the infinitive. If a pronoun comes before an infinitive or after an infinitive, it must be in the objective form. In this sentence, the pronoun you is coming after the infinitive. That means in this case, the pronoun you is in the objective form. Getting it? Based on the rules, you can easily identify which form of the pronoun it is. Come to this one. Come to the first two statements. I help him, he is helped by me. I help him as active voice because help is B1. Will never come in the passive voice. Subject, verb, object, active voice. He is helped by me is passive voice. By comes only in the passive voice. Object, verb, subject, passive voice. So the first sentence is in the active voice. The second sentence is in the passive voice. Clear? Listen attentively. Now listen to it carefully. I help him, active voice. The pronoun I is acting as the subject here, and the pronoun him is acting as the object. I is which form? Subjective form, objective form. I is a subjective pronoun. I gave you the list of subjective pronouns. I help him. Him is which form? Objective form. I gave you the list of objective pronouns. So him is an objective. That means in this sentence, the pronoun I is the subject, the pronoun him is the object. I is in the subjective form, him is the object. The sentence is the active voice. That means in the active voice, the subject will be in the subjective form and the object will be in the objective form. The pronoun I is the subject here and I is the subjective pronoun. The pronoun him is the object here and him is the objective pronoun. And the sentence is in the active voice. Repeat. In the active voice, the subject will be in the subjective form, the object will be in the objective form. Clear? Come to the second one. He is helped by me. This sentence is in the passive voice. The pronoun he is acting as the object here. The pronoun me is acting as a subject. Because passive voice what is? Object, verb, subject. He is which form of pronoun? He is a subjective pronoun. I gave you the list of subjective pronouns. He is helped by me. Me is an objective pronoun. I gave you the list of objective pronouns. So pronoun he is acting as object here. He is a subjective pronoun. The pronoun me is acting as a subject here. Me is an objective pronoun. Passive voice. In the passive voice, the object will be in the subjective form and the subject will be in the objective form. In the active voice, the subject will be in the subjective form, the object will be in the objective form. In the passive voice, just reverse it, just the opposite of it. The subject will be in the objective form, the object will be in the subjective form. That's it. I repeat. In the active voice, the subject will be in the subjective form, the object will be in the objective form. In the passive voice, the object will be in the subjective form, the subject will be in the objective form. Clear? I've gone for this rule as well. Come to the statement, next statement. The car is driven by dash. This sentence is in the passive voice because by is there. The car is the object, is driven is the verb, this blank is the subject. And this blank must be filled with a pronoun. This sentence is in the passive voice and this blank, the pronoun is acting as a subject. In the passive voice, the subject must be in which form? In the passive voice, the subject must be in the objective form. Her is objective, so the answer must be the car is driven by. Sure. So a car is driven by her. The sentence is in the passive voice. The pronoun is acting as the subject here. And the passive voice, the subject must be in the objective form. Clear? I'll take you back to a sentence that we discussed. This one. A car is bought by them. I gave you one reason for it. One more reason. This sentence is in the passive voice. This blank must be filled with a pronoun, and the pronoun is acting as a subject here. In the passive voice, the subject must be in the objective form. Them is objective, so it must be a car is driven by them. Getting it? Right. Come to the next statement. The poor man is helped by you. Now come to the previous statement. The car is driven by her. The pronoun her is both objective and possessive. I told you, based on the rules, you must be able to identify whether her in a sentence is objective or possessive. Come to the same statement once again. The car is driven by her. In this sentence, her is objective or possessive. One reason is the sentence is in the passive voice, pronoun is acting as a subject here. Passive voice, subject must be in the objective form, so it cannot be possessive. One reason. The other reason is, if it has to be possessive, and I told you the rule earlier, when to use S, when not to use S with the possessive pronouns. When there is a noun after the possessive pronoun, no S with the pronoun. When there is no noun after the possessive pronoun, then S with the pronoun. If it has to be possessive, there must be a noun after her. Her book, her pen, her pencil, her house, her car. There is no noun after her, so it cannot be possessive. The only option left is objective. Getting it? As it never gets stuck with any rule. If you're not getting the help of one rule, you forget. Think about some other rules. Come to the third rule. So second rule is regarding objective form is when the pronoun comes before or after an infinitive, that particular pronoun must be in the objective form.